So it's June 23rd, 2025. Right here. June 23rd, 2025 at 8:35 p.m. So I should be able to find one on here. Just show you there's it's kind of hard to see that one, but there's an actual subliminal right there. But I'll just show you a different surface how much easier to see. This shows that I predicted everything that they were planning on going to do to me today, all the subliminal. So I'll start with this one. So you can clearly see the face right there. That's the face in the subliminal. So I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. So that predicted that, you know, I'm Christian Eric Arnie Meyer and that I control the system. Here's another one. There's another face right there that shows that I'm Christian Eric Arnie Meyer and I control the system. And then there's this one. Actually, I'll show you that. Here's the cat con right there. That's a dog con now. And that's a subliminal system. So I'll just show you once again how I predicted. You can clearly see the face in here. And I'll just show you there's a follow-up right there. To show you that, and right here that I'm Christian Eric Arnie Meyer and I control the system. So I'll just take a screenshot of that. There's another guy that looks like me in here, and he doesn't control the system at all. He doesn't control it. You can see the face right there. And okay, I'll show you another one on this picture here. I'm trying to find a good one. So there is another one right there that shows that I'm Christian Eric Arnie Meyer and I control the system. It's June 23rd, 2025. So this is all subliminal. I'll show you, you know, other subliminal that I have gotten that's really clear, like some of them. And so this was a subliminal face that you could clearly see. This is just ashes in an ashtray. You can see the ashtray at the bottom of the picture. And this was, I was suspicious of the government, so I started urinating in the bottle. And this is the nanotechnology that was left in the bottle. So I'll just show you here. So here's a subliminal face that shows that I'm Christian Eric Arnie Meyer. Looks just like my face and that I control the system. This is the orange construction paint that they started putting on surfaces in Canada as of 2016 when Pokemon Go came out. So here, this one's supposed to be bad, but I you know, it doesn't pertain to me anyways. But here's a face of a kid in the system, subliminal system. But I'm complaining about parasitic humans, and Stephanie Meyer wrote a book about parasitic aliens in 2008, and I became aware. I had my DNA tested in 2017. Up until that moment, I was just like everybody else. It's just like everybody else. I thought I was just like anybody else, you know, that I had regular biology and what have you. But I'll just show you right now. Like, there's my sternum, and I have a different sternum than anybody else. And I'll show you my feet. I have different bones in my feet that nobody has, and I'll just show you here. So there's my ankle. Then I got a bone right there, and then a ridge right there that nobody has. Some people have the ridge on their feet, but nobody has that bone spur that I have. And they're just trying to set me up right there for a guy named James. He looks like George V, but I look more like his sons, and I'm related to Anne Boleyn than he is. So I have a higher concentration of the DNA. So this was while I was in the hospital. You can see that there's a crease in my hand, but there's no white scar here. And the scar looks like a 25, a 2, and a 5, and a spider. And this is because as of December 13th, 2024, I realized that my subconscious mind controls the planet, and they use it to predict the future. So somehow I made this scar happen, and this is at 419 May 27th, 2025, and I'll show you later on that day. This is the same day, and you can see how I now, like, there's the 2. You can see now I have a white part to the scar, and there's the 5, because it's 2025, and you'll see that this is later on the same day. It's May 27th, 2025 at 10 p.m. because I control the planet basically. So here is, I haven't shown this one in a while, but you could clearly see an alien head right here. And then this is an Easter Island head. I'll show you what an Easter Island statue looks like. Give me internet. So anyways, I'm at the Surrey Hospital, and they say that if you can see that, they said that I have schizoaffective disorder, and which usually only affects women. And when it does men, it's usually late teens to early 20s. They said I developed this at 47 years old. Right? And when I was 42, they said that I developed schizophrenia. And I'll just show you right here. The computer-assisted telepathy is possible. Like this video right here shows, I watched this one in particular. It shows that people could influence yes-no decisions remotely, implant thoughts. Basically, our thoughts are just sounds. I'll just show you the proof here. Earlier. Oh, so before I get into that tangent, I'll just show you here. Easter Island heads. Easter Island heads. So there's an Easter Island head right there. So you can see right there. So now once again, I'll go back to the alien picture. So you can see how that's an Easter Island head. There's an alien. And then when you zoom in right here, there's another picture. This is all psychology. Like one of those psychological pictures where you see an optical illusion and you see multiple different faces. And I filmed this with 2 different cameras at the time when I had it in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And because there's geoengineering, like there's a video I made. Let's see, did I put it? Let me save it. I'm just gonna pause here for a second to just make this so it's a short video. No, I didn't film it. Unfortunately, it's on Chris Meyer Diggins. But if you scroll down, it's an older video, like maybe 5 years old, and it'll show, like, you'll see a building in the thumbnail. It's the only video that shows a building in the thumbnail, and you see a grid system, like this, like little grid, like a ruler, but it shows clouds going from right to left. And then if you listen to the video, like there's 2 of them, and one of them, like, well, when I point my finger, the cloud's gonna stop. So you can see the cloud going from right to left. Then as soon as I point at it, the cloud slows down. And then you see somebody walking left to right at the bottom of the screen to show that it wasn't doctored, the film. And this was from a cell phone. And so I proved that there's chemical cloud seeding and chemical geoengineering, and that I'm able to control it with my brain because I have unique biology that artificial intelligence loves. So I'm able to control the weather with it. So I'll just show you today, because I'm trying to make it colder in Canada, and I'll show you how it snowed today in some parts of Canada in June. Because they kept me in the hospital since May 5th. So because of that, I'm also trying to contract the Canadian economy, and the Canadian economy is expected to contract 5.6%. Where did it snow in Canada in June 2025? So I don't want to use that, so I didn't even press that. They made me make a typo, and if you watch a pigeon never makes a mistake. I have evolved human biology, so every time I make a mistake, a typo, that means I'm being hacked. Alberta slam with summer snow with up to 30 centimeters forecasted to fall. So you can just see it there here. I'm just going to take a screenshot because, earlier today I looked at some information, because the lawyer, I'll just show you how he voted for me in I had a consent and capacity board hearing, and the lawyer voted for me, saying how I didn't exhibit any of these characteristics and how I should be released. And so I looked online, because earlier today when I looked online, when we had access to the computer, Google said that usually when the lawyer votes for the patient, they're released without medication and just like that. So I try to find the proof today. Yeah, I'll show you my history from Google. And now that they have Google like AI overview, the history changes. Before, you used to be able to go to your history and you could find the exact website that you looked at before. And so right here, you can see right there, that was later on in the day, but I'll show you right here. This was earlier in the day. And so if I went to this, it should bring up the exact search that I found the original time. But now get AI overview says there's no results for this search because we're trying to hide our culpability. Like right here. Like it was supposed to pull up the exact same information. Now saying not available for this search. And it's like, you liars, it showed me earlier. Why do you think it's in my history? Why do you think I tried to post it on film? So anyways, I'll just show you how the lawyer voted for me. Favor for me anyways. So let's see. Screenshots. So right here, so Miss Lukens was my lawyer. Yes, I'll keep it brief. I'd like the board to note that my client is not at risk to harm himself or others, or the evidence supported the serious physical impairment may not arise, level being clear, cogent, or compelling in order to keep him on the grounds of box B. I defer to the evidence given by my client that it was given, very fulsome today, and on behalf of my client, Christian Meyer, I ask the board to invoke his involuntary status. Right, so anyways, the lawyer voted for me, and they hospitalized me for almost an additional month after they voted for me. So today I read the written reasons why they did this, and it was all based on hearsay. They ignored facts. I sent photographic evidence, and they went based on hearsay. The doctor used song lyrics against me. Imagine that, seeing a song lyric. It's a song that I wrote, and using song lyrics to deem somebody's mental health. And my half-sister, like for instance, I'm saying that I'm the true royal of the United Kingdom. I'll just show you some pictures of, real quick. I don't want this to be a super long video, but I'll just show you some videos real quick. And so anyways, there was a wedding that my family went to, and this guy's name was Helena, Christian Victor. His mom's name was Helena. I'll just show you. Here's what Helena looks like. She looks identical to me, but she's a female. And at this wedding, here's a royal ball. You can see where it says Princess Louise in Castle, 1871. So, and at the time, my family's last name was Campbell. So on the back of the invitation, there was Colin Campbell. This is what the man looks like. He looks like me, my dad, and my mom's brother. His birthday's October 20th. He died August 14th. Here's my dad right here. And he died August 14th. I was born October 20th. My dad was born October 20th. And here's the wedding of the people that got married there. And you can see how I look like the female Duchess Louise. And I probably related to John Campbell as well, the Marquis. But anyways, he was a Duke of Argyll. So, he died, Colin Campbell died on August 14th. My mom's brother, my son, my cousin Justin was born August 14th. My mom died August 13th. So here is typical Generation 1 biology. You can see the ankle, there's no bone there, there's no ridges there. And I showed you mine, where there's my ankle, I got a bone there, and I showed you my sternum. So I showed, I posted this evidence right here. This is, most people when they get their DNA profile done, they have maybe 1 or 2 countries. I have 180 countries on my DNA profile. And here they are right here. And these are mainly, this one right here and that one right there is mainly the emperors, czars, kings, sultans, and emirs DNA. And if you look over here, mine starts at 10. They typically go from 6 to 14. And mine starts at 12. They go from 6 to 15. And I don't have any N numbers on there. So meaning that I should age fantastic. So I'll just show you proof here. Where is the proof folder? So I'll just show you proof. This is how wrinkled I was in January 2025. right here. This is how wrinkled my eyes were in January 2025. And you can see right here, this is on TikTok. That's like the first month, January 2nd. This was January 2nd. By January 4th, my eyes recovered. And today it's June 23rd, 2025. And you can see I don't have any of those wrinkles under my eyes. Who could rejuvenate? I've been in the hospital since May 5th. So when I haven't smoked tobacco since then. When I smoke tobacco, they're able to poison me with like through chemical electrolysis and to cause me to wrinkle immaturely, like, and edit my telomeres. They use biological and chemical warfare on me. I have other videos where I get wrinkles right on film while I'm at the hospital. So anyways, so that's how I look there. And I forget if I showed the scar. Yeah, I did. I showed the scar from earlier. So here's, so before I'm complaining about parasitic humans. And so before I was born, a year before I was born in 1977. In 1976, Canada was 27th in the world medal standings. In 1980, the Olympics, they boycotted with America because it was in Moscow. And but in 1984, when I was 7 years old, Canada went from 27th to 6th place because of my DNA. And, America went from 3rd to 1st. My dad was so strong that I seen him, like they made him an alcoholic. So every once in a while he would get drunk and then the police would come. But I seen him, like 5 cops were on top of him. I seen him get up and go like this. And I seen all 5 grown men go flying in 5 different directions. It's like something out of the movie. And me and my son are even stronger than him. And so I'll just show you my son's back muscles now. So here was Augustus Victoria's oldest daughter. Here's my daughter. She looks identical to her. Here was Augustus Victoria's husband, who looks like my father and me when I have a beard, if I was looking that way. And their son looks like me and my mother. See, well, here's like Captain James Cook, who looks like me at Trafalgar Square. And then here is Frederick III, the last guy that I said that looks like my dad or me with the beard. Here's their son, who looks like me and my mother. And he was the last German emperor. That's William II. There was 3 cousins that Queen Victoria had that were, there was the king, the emperor, and the czar. There was King George V, who looks like me. As a child, I looked identical to him. And then there was William II, who I looked like, and then Nicholas II, who I looked like. I look like all 3 of them because I have evolved human biology. So basically, the royal family has been breeding my family for thousands of years and breeding with each other. But if you look right here, you can see indentations in the back structure of the muscles. And on my muscles right here, there's no indentations. I have completely different back muscles, and it's clearly evident. You don't need to be a doctor to see this, right? People are able to think, communicate over a computer nowadays with nanotechnology. You don't need to have brain implants. And here's a patent. It's called the Band 100. And here's some of the sensors that they can put in their body. They can see what your glucose is doing, your EEG, EEG, ECG, your vision, your hearing, your blood pressure, and toxins. And it could all be controlled over a cell phone. And you can see that it's an older cell phone. And so right here, this gun, they could broadcast, they could implant a thought into your brain with that gun. And this one, they broadcast the frequency that heats you up and makes you, it's for getting crowds to flee, basically. And so what else? So my name is, in high school, I went by Christian Meyer Diggins. So people call me Myers or people call me Diggs. And this is the Seattle Seahawks 2019-2020 roster. It's hidden in plain sight. Travis Homer went to Texas Christian University. There was a Jason Myers on the team, a Quandre Diggs. So it's Meyer, Diggs, Britt, King, Neil on the same team. There's a Brit, a King, and Neil, and DK is short for Denmark. My dad was born in England, and my mom was born in the States on a trip, but she lived in Denmark until she was 5 years old. Her parents were Danish, right? So she would be the true Danish queen, and my dad would have been the British king. And so that makes me king of both countries. Like my half-sister lived on Princess Crescent, right? And my mother-in-law gave us a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Currently, King Charles is the current king of the United Kingdom. So my dad had servants. His dad had servants. and all his forefathers had servants before then, except for 3 generations that they inferred to today. And my mother's mother, I guess my great-grandmother on my mother's side, she owned a hotel, so I had nobility on both sides. So we hung out and partied with royals. I have a royal invitation. And they're like, oh, he has grandiose characteristics, but he's completely magnanimous. He can adjust his voice, and he wrote songs called Panty Remover. And like this is one of the lyrics that I wrote. Oh, Canada, I got that PhD in seduction. I make your body start erupting. Bedroom started looking like a natural disaster. Call FEMA to clean it up after. I want to be that legend between your thighs. So when I'm away, you can't sleep at night. I'm as sweet as Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Once I get on between your legs, you'll know what I mean. She'll feel my gyrations as I work my lumber. Oh no! So I forget. I just read it today, but it's like my words are man-made thunder. She'll feel my gyrations as I work my lumber, ladies. So, anyways, I've abstained from sex because of this system. I get raped when I have sex from 2016 to 2025, and in 2025 I was sleeping in the ATM booth because my old landlord I paid rent September 1st. September 2nd, he was all drunk and he threw out all my stuff. So I went to the police station. As soon as I went to the police station, I felt 3 dabs of liquid on my left leg trying to set me up. And the officer there at 7402, he never called the landlord tenant board, and he kept on mentioning things that didn't relate to my situation. And I told him this like 5 different ways. 5 different ways. I'm like, you're wrong. It doesn't. I called specifically, and then I'm like, have you ever called? He's like, no, I've never called. I'm like, how long have you been a cop for? 20 years. So in 20 years, you've never called the landlord tenant board. He's like, yeah, right. And then, so I did. I called, and they said that I would not only would it take months to go to court, I get a sue for reasonable enjoyment of my premise, a T2. I get to sue my landlord, and I'm going to win. I have video evidence where when I was at home, I'd be talking like this. And then 10 minutes later, I had a normal voice, right? And they were stashing chairs. Like there'd be like there would be a barbecue, barbecue, and then there would be a table by the barbecue, and there would be chairs underneath the stairs. So I'd go out, I'd grab a chair, I'd put it by the table, like most people would have, right? If you have a table, you would think you would have your chairs by the table, right? So I'd just say this was 10 in the morning, I'd have a smoke. I'd come out like a few hours later, and then the chair was stashed underneath the table, under the stairs again. And then he eventually threw out all the fucking chairs. Like the guy was an idiot. He was an alcoholic. Like the last day, September 2nd, he told me to fuck off like 15 times, like he was a 15-year-old boy. And as soon as I pulled out my camera to start filming him, he's like, oh, you're such an awesome tenant. And like, they didn't like that I smoked marijuana. And it's like, they could have easily like mentioned that like they were in control. Like when they rented it out, they could have asked like, do you smoke cannabis? Do you smoke marijuana? Yeah, I do. Oh, okay, well, fine. Go find somebody else, right? I would have found a new place. I wouldn't have went there. I wouldn't have moved in to a place that didn't accept me smoking marijuana, right? Like it's something that I enjoy doing. But like there's a subliminal system. I have subliminals at that place. So he's going to have to resurface every floor in that house and paint all the walls. And he redid the flower bed because I'd sit out there and smoke. And he wasn't getting any metrics in the subliminal system because there's a profiling system. When I was circumcised, like, at the CCB hearing, I sent them physical evidence of like a picture of my penis. It shows a scar, the full length of my penis. And when you're circumcised, they remove the excess skin around the tip of your penis, the foreskin. And but mine, they tapered my penis. They made it more narrow at the top and at the base. But I have a scar the full fucking length of my penis. Why would they do that during a circumcision if there wasn't extraordinary reasons behind my DNA? So once again, my mother-in-law gave my ex-wife and me a dog called the King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. My half-sister lived on Princess Crescent. I have a royal invitation, a wedding that we went to in 1871, August 28th, 1871, with Princess Louise and John Campbell. My family was a Campbell at the time. On the back of it said Colin Campbell. When I did a Google search, it said Field Marshal Colin Campbell. He was the most powerful guy in the British Army, and they were the superpower on the planet at that time. And he has the same birthday as me, and he died on my first cousin's birthday. And my mom died a day before he died. What are the chances of this? And I also had a dog named Piper, and behind the Royal York in Toronto, there's a Piper Street. Like, what are the chances? This is too circumstantial. And, and with the physical evidence, I'll show you how I look like George VI and Edward VIII, like twins. Like I'm 47 now. So in these pictures that I'm showing you, they were younger. So I don't quite look as much as I did when I was younger, but identical. Like this guy looks identical to me. And he was born January 27th. That's my grandfather's birthday. And he died August 21st. My grandfather Arnie was born January 27th. My grandfather Jack was born April 27th. And Augustus Frederick. So I knew that I could follow any Augusta Frederick, and I'm gonna look like them. I'm gonna look like them, guaranteed. And this guy was Queen Victoria's uncle, and he had a kid with her. He walked her down the aisle, and he was called. And that's why there's Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is that I'm the true line. I'm the true royal. And her son was Christian Victor, and I'll be the Victor very soon. And she was Princess Christian. My name was my mom was gonna name, my dad was Barry John Diggins, and senior, and I was gonna be named Barry John Diggins Jr. But at the last second, she changed my name to Christian because her grandmother was dying, and her last name was Christensen, and she had nobody to carry on her name. So that's how come my name was Christian. And her son she looks identical to me, but she's a woman. And then Like you can see the resemblance. This is Nicholas II, the last Tsar, the Romanovs, and he had a daughter named Anastasia that most likely survived. And this is his dad, who looks like me. That's Alexander III. And then Colin Campbell. Then William II. And then here's Edward VIII that looks identical to me. And I'm even related. This is Muhammad the Prophet. I'm even related to him. And where is George VI? Oh, here's George VI, who looks identical to me. So how could I look like all these people and have grandiose beliefs? Grandiose beliefs means that you're, I think I showed this. Here's a subliminal of my face, and it's showing that I control the system with my subconscious mind. Grandiose beliefs indicate that you believe you're better than other people. So here, once again, this is Generation 1 biology. You can see the indentations in their back. This is my son's biology. He's generation 1.5. You see how he has different back structures, back muscles than the generation 1 biology. And I have even different back muscles than my son and the other guy because I'm generation 2 biology. I had a mate with a generation 1 female. And I last year, I noticed that my ex-wife looks like my half-sister. Like all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow, like they look alike. So they share a similar ancestor, right? And then I'm looking about a few years ago, I'm looking at my niece Amanda, his boyfriend, like his name's Andy. I'm like, fuck, wow, does Andy ever look like me when I was in my 20s? Holy fuck, right? And then I see my oldest niece, Nicole. Now she just had a kid with some black guy, and I never seen this fucking guy. He never came to any family reunions. And then all of a sudden I see a picture of him. Guess who he looks like? He fucking looks like Uncle Chris. How come everybody looks like Uncle Chris, right? What are the chances of that? And I was formed in the hospital. I was brought to the hospital on May 5th. And the letter from my sister, a concerned person, was dated May 9th. It's like today's Monday. So it's like somebody robbing a bank this Friday coming up, but they get arrested on Monday before they rob the bank. What is the fucking chances of that? Right? As if somebody could write a letter saying that they're concerned about somebody's mental state after they're already hospitalized. They gave me 3 different explanations on who formed me. And then the nurse at the hospital on May 5th looked like my half-sister. And the last time I see my half-sister, I said that she was a contender, but she didn't have my mom, so she's jealous. She said I smoked crack. I've never smoked crack in my life. I smoke cannabis because it's legal in Canada. I've never smoked crack. And so she's jealous. She lived on Princess Crescent. I even told her that. You lived on Princess Crescent. You would be a princess. I had a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. Our family went to that royal wedding, right? And so she would have been queen, right? But she didn't have my mom. My mom and dad, even though they were born in different countries, they were related to each other. So anyways, like there's so much evidence, and all it takes is a blood test. All it takes is a blood test. Like here's George V. You can see like right there, King George the Fourth. Oh, this is George the Fourth. He looks like me. And do I have a picture of George V here? So here is Augusta Frederick when he was a boy. He looks like my dad when he was a teenager. Here's some other relatives that I have. These are all relatives that I have. And so once again, when I went to Trafalgar Square in London, England, I'm like, wow, does that ever look like me? And my grandmother's last name is Cook. This is Captain James Cook. He's the guy that discovered Australia. And wherever this man went, he had talented kids. And here's another picture of Colin Campbell, who looks more like my mother's brother. And my dad looks, in the one that's black and white, looks like my dad more. This one right here looks more like my dad in this one, because my dad had dark hair. And I look like him, and my brother looks like him. So there's too much circumstantial evidence. And what else did I want to say? I want to end this video really fast. So anyways, Queen Victoria is Victoria's Secret for a reason, because Augusta Frederick was her biological uncle who walked her down the aisle. He impregnated her, and many of her kids I'm related to. I'm related to at least 3 of them, because I look like all 3, like World War I, there was the 3 royals. There was King George V was at war with William II and Tsar Nicholas around the same time. Tsar Nicholas, and I look like all 3 of them. They were the 3 cousins of Europe, and I look like all 3 of them. You know, once again, my dad had servants. You know, I can see, like, because I grew up like in an inner city ghetto. I can see if I grew up in an inner city ghetto, but my dad had servants. You know, he was offered, you know, at 17 years old, he went to a party, but he missed an opportunity to play, to try out for an NHL team when there's only 6 teams. His father, my grandfather, turned down a professional baseball contract. I could jump kick an 8-foot ceiling. I could do a scissor kick. Like basically I could put a hat 6 feet high, I could kick it down, kick it up, and make the hat land on my head. I'll just show you a video here. This is what I could do. Like if the UFC was what it is in 2025, I would have been a UFC fighter, guaranteed. But it wasn't as reputable when I was a kid. It was, you know, it was like a 170-pound guy might fight a 400-pound guy, so it wasn't reputable. Whereas if it was like what it is now, I would have just tried to be in the UFC. Put a guy in a straight flush in Texas Hold'em poker. I was offered to try out for modeling in New York City, and I was told that there'd be 20 to 50 modeling agents there, and if any one of them liked me, then I would have been a model. But you know, I got my headshots done, and they told me that I was too muscular, so I wasn't gonna starve myself to be a model. I have too much integrity. Like that's why I'm not rich, because I have too much integrity. If I sucked dick, it would have been a lot easier for me, but I've never sucked dick. So I'll just show you this video first. This is a video that's going to show that I have different pectoral muscles than every other man. Look at this guy. When he's going to flex, and you'll see that his pectoral muscles, when he flexes, only will go up halfway. But then when it shows me, mine go up all the way up to my shoulders almost. And I have indentations, like see how he has a straight line there on his sternum? I have indentations on my muscles. Because I have different biology than people.
So I'll just show you again this pectoral dance, and
see how they only go up halfway.
See how the pectoral is different than mine. Just show you mine. It's a gender mom biology. So this is my pectoral muscle. You'll see how it goes all the way up.
So like you can see right here, it's kind of like they kind of made me gain a little bit of weight. So I'll show you another picture. But if you go to Eminence Meyer Diggins, I'll show you on Facebook after this.
At the top.
But you can see it right there. You can see the indentation right there. I'm just going to take a screenshot. But you can see those ridges. They almost look like little fingers that come out by my sternum. No man has that on the planet. And you can see where right there, I have 2 different muscles for pectoral muscle, where other men have 1 muscle.
See, it goes all the way up there.
See how it goes all the way up at the top?
All the way up there.
Watch it again. Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to show it again after this. It goes all the way up by my shoulders. See how it goes? How much further it goes up than
See how high up it goes? I got evolved human biology.
I've evolved human biology. It's unequivocal. So let's see. 58 seconds. I'm just looking for this video. It's like 8 seconds long. Here we go. 8 seconds long. So this is me doing 2 double kicks. There's a hat here and then a hat on a punch bag. This was 6 feet high and this was about 6 feet high. I do this kick in case 2 guys were approaching me at once and want to confront me. This is what I would do to them. So you can see how effortless that was for me when I walked away. I was super effortless. This is at 46 years old. So I'll show you, like at first, when I first stepped, watch this foot, wherever they made me step on a subliminal metric right here. So I knew I was going to miss that. So I had unhacked technology in my brain that was preventing me from making the trick. And then in the full video, I'm taunting them. I'm like, it's because I'm a Meyer. And then, so this foot makes me miss. And then once I unhack the trick, when I unhack the devices connected to me through chemical electrolysis, I'm able to complete the trick. Watch for my foot, because I step and then right there, I look at the exact same spot right afterwards. No, it was before that I would have. Yeah, I didn't show this one. But anyways, I could do that with anything. Like I used to call it stupid human tricks, and I can't post this video on YouTube. But if I was to show this video, because for some reason YouTube doesn't allow me to show my own intellectual property. Like I tried posting a video today, they're like, oh, copyright infringement. It's like, no man, this is my own stuff. You don't see the same person in the video. Anyways, so like I show how I'm standing about 25 to 32 yards away and I throw a football with one attempt. I throw a football and I hit the crossbar. My son was filming at the time, and then he walks over, or I walk over. He paused it. He walks over with a soccer ball. He was 5 feet tall. He looked like a dwarf in this video. He looked super short. And he kicks with the soccer ball. The very first attempt, he hits the crossbar. It's called, under Chris Meyer Diggins, it's Father and Son with Evolutionary Genes. It's like a 60-second video.
One in there.
So if you like what I post, then share it online.
Yeah.